What's up guys, my name is Ace, and today it's finally time to break down the C4 within Modern Warfare. Now I've covered pretty much all of the other explosives in my Versus series, however with the C4 it doesn't really have a counterpart, and therefore I'm just going to do an individual breakdown here and let you guys know exactly how the C4 works in both multiplayer as well as Warzone. Now before we hop into this, I don't really plug my Twitter enough, so I just wanted to give a quick shout out to my Twitter. If you guys ever have any questions or anything, that's usually the best place to reach me. I try my best to keep up with everything. So if you guys aren't following me yet on Twitter, make sure you do that. I will leave a link to that in the description down below. But without further ado, let's get into the topic. The C4 within multiplayer has a damage profile of 140 to 70. This means if you are right on top of a C4, it will deal 140 damage to you, which in core game modes is an instant kill, unless you're using EOD, which we'll look at in a little bit. And then at the outer edge of its radius, where it can just barely deal damage to you, the minimum amount is 70 damage, so you can survive that in core game modes without EOD. As for the damage radius, the maximum radius at which the C4 is able to deal damage to an enemy player is 6.5 meters. Anything beyond 6.5 meters and no damage whatsoever is dealt. And when it comes to our maximum one-hit kill potential on a full health enemy in core game modes, assuming they don't have EOD, this is exactly 4.1 meters. And this is quite interesting because based on my tests with the Frag and the Semtex, their maximum hit potential is actually bigger than the C4 at about 8 meters. However, the C4 beats both of those when it comes to the maximum one-hit kill potential. With the Frag and the Semtex, the maximum one-hit kill potential is about 3.5 meters. So the C4 is a bit more deadly than the Frag or the Semtex, however its overall damage radius is a little bit smaller than the Frag or the Semtex. Now when we bring EOD into the equation, I've already covered EOD in great detail in a video from several days ago now. But basically, if you are standing right on top of an enemy C4 with EOD and it goes off, you will actually survive in both core as well as hardcore game modes. And in core game modes, this is due to the fact that there's a damage clamp with EOD, so you can't receive more than 80 damage from a single explosive if you're using EOD. Additionally, if you are on the outer radius of the C4 and you're using EOD, then you are going to be receiving significantly less than that 70 damage, because EOD also does have a flat decrease to the amount of damage dealt. And that's pretty much it for multiplayer. It's pretty straightforward within multiplayer, and there's not too much else to say. However, with Warzone, there's a fair amount to talk about here. So first up, against enemy players, before we get into talking about its interaction with vehicles, it's actually exactly the same as multiplayer when it comes to dealing damage to enemy players. Meaning, if you have at least one plate of armor as well as full health, you will end up surviving that situation. However, if you have less than a plate of armor as well as full health, then a C4 absolutely can and will kill you. Same thing goes with the outer radius of the damage. It is 70 damage. We've also got exactly the same damage radius for both the maximum hit potential as well as our one-hit kill potential, assuming the enemy doesn't have armor equipped, which is 4.1 meters. And when it comes to EOD, it's the same behavior as with the RPG. It doesn't work the same as multiplayer. We have multiple damage clamps. So what this means is if you have any armor equipped whatsoever, and you're using EOD and a C4 deals damage to you, all that single explosive can do is remove your armor. It won't cut into your health at all. Then after that, assuming you have no armor equipped, it behaves exactly like it does in multiplayer with EOD, where it will clamp at maximum 80 damage, so you will survive a single C4 explosive, assuming there's no other explosive going on. I had a few people questioning this. If you're inside a vehicle or you're near a vehicle and that also explodes, that's another source of damage, and therefore yes, you absolutely can die while using EOD versus a single C4, plus that explosive damage from the vehicle. Now, speaking of vehicles, this is where things get a little bit interesting because this is one of the most valuable uses of the C4 within Warzone. When it comes to every single vehicle in Warzone, aside from the cargo truck, any hit with the C4 on those vehicles is an instant explosion. It doesn't disable the vehicle first, it doesn't give you any chance whatsoever if you're in that vehicle. If that C4 explodes within a 6.5 meter radius to any vehicle but the cargo truck, that vehicle is a goner. Of course, this can be countered by a trophy system, but I'm talking if the C4 ends up working as intended and it actually explodes, it will blow that vehicle up. Now, as for the cargo truck, this one's a little bit special. With this, it seems to basically have a built-in vehicle EOD, where it caps the amount of damage that it receives from a single C4 at 80. And this doesn't matter if the C4 is literally stuck to the truck or it's exactly 6.5 meters away from the truck. That C4 will take 80% of the health away from that truck. And this means it's hurt really badly and two C4s will absolutely blow it up. Or all it actually takes is about 15 rounds with a 5.56 assault rifle, which most people are using, like a Grau or an M4. It'll take you roughly 15 to 20 rounds with those, plus a C4 in order to disable the cargo truck. So if you do see a cargo truck approaching you from a distance, and you've got some time to put some shots into it before it gets to you and it looks like they're about to come run you over, all you have to do is shoot it about 20 times just to be safe, and then throw your C4, and you will at least disable the truck. Now, unlike with the other vehicles, it still won't be instantly exploding, so there is still a chance that it could run you over as it's already disabled just because the momentum is still going. So you have to be aware of that. But that's the easiest way to disable a cargo truck. Just put 15 to 20 rounds into it and then blow it up with a C4. Additionally, one other little tip for people that might be new to the Call of Duty franchise or maybe just haven't stumbled across this yet. For most of the longtime COD fans, this is just super obvious. But I still get questioned about this a decent amount. How do you blow up your C4 without using your detonator? Or if you have two C4s in your inventory and you just want to throw one of them and then blow that one C4 up, how do you do that? Well, on controller, what you do is double tap your reload button. So on PS4, for instance, you double tap square. On mouse and keyboard, on the other hand, what you want to do is double tap your use button. So whichever key you have mapped to use, that's the one you want to double tap in order to instantly detonate a C4. And that pretty much covers it for the C4 within Modern Warfare. This is definitely my preferred lethal equipment to use within Warzone. Simply because without the C4, the vehicle spam was getting a little bit ridiculous early on in Warzone, and the C4 has just been a huge lifesaver against those people that are just cruising around trying to run people over all the time. Having said this though, there is a little bit of debate that I've been seeing about whether or not the C4 is too powerful against vehicles, excluding the cargo truck within Warzone. Should the C4 be able to instantly explode a vehicle that's on the outer edge of its damage radius, like at 6.5 meters away from the C4, for instance? Should a full health helicopter or SUV, for instance, explode in those situations? Or should there be a chance for the people in that vehicle to survive that situation? In my opinion, I'm actually quite happy with where it's at right now, where people don't really feel super confident cruising around in vehicles anymore, just trying to run people over constantly, because I really feel like that takes away from the game, especially due to the fact that all an enemy vehicle has to do is literally just touch you, and it's an instant down for you, which is really frustrating in a one-life game mode. So I am happy that we have this excellent counter for those vehicles, and to counter that counterplay, they do have the option of sticking a trophy system to their vehicle to protect them in those situations. So personally, I do think it's balanced pretty nicely right now, but having said that, it is also a little bit jarring and a little bit ridiculous that a C4 can be 6.5 meters away from a vehicle that has full health and it just instantly explodes. So even though I'm happy with the current state, I wouldn't necessarily be opposed to a situation where the C4 would still be an instant explosion for the vehicle within, let's just say, 4 meters, but from 4 to 6.5 meters, maybe it just disables the vehicle, and that will just encourage people to be a bit more accurate with the C4, and it would lead to more situations where the people inside the vehicle have a chance to maybe get out and try and fight back against somebody that throws a C4 in their general direction without much precision. But that's just my thoughts on this. Again, I'm perfectly happy with how it's currently balanced as well, so I'm not necessarily pushing for a change like that. It was just kind of a thought I had that maybe it could be improved in some way. Of course, though, I'd like to hear what you guys think about that in the comment section down below. How do you guys feel the C4 is currently balanced in both multiplayer as well as Warzone? Do you think there should be any changes made, or are you perfectly happy with how it is now? Just let me know those thoughts in the comment section down below. If you enjoyed the video, a like rating is always appreciated, and don't forget to subscribe for more if you haven't already. I'll talk to you guys next time.